know, instead of...
Now I'm a little more nervous. There's a very ripe smell, if you will. Here's the actual stomach part. Not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about this one, but I got a lot of other things just in case. So when I first did my soup series a couple months ago, a few people commented for me to make menudo, and I don't know, y'all. I was just really nervous. Like, I just didn't have the guts to... I just couldn't stomach the idea. I was just worried I wasn't going to make it right and have a bad experience. So I figured the first time trying it, I should probably have it from someone who has cooked it before, knows what they're doing. I am a little nervous though, but it smelled right out the gate. It does smell good. The guy who helped me was so nice. I asked him just to make sure. I was like, how do I pronounce it? So he explained that. But then he also gave me instructions on like how to assemble it. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, menudo is a Mexican style soup that is made with honeycomb tripe. Honeycomb tripe is some form or fashion portion of cow stomach. Don't spill. It comes with oregano, and I'm really glad I had this conversation with him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what to do with that. You put some in your hand. I don't really know how much. I think that looks good. You crush it up in your hand a little. Okay, I'm getting an aroma. An interesting aroma. Put the oregano in there. Okay, yeah, now I'm a little more nervous. There's a very ripe smell, if you will. He said you do the cilantro and onion and then some lime. Dump it all in there. Let's start with just the broth because, not gonna lie, it looks a little scary. Just go in for some broth. Okay, the broth is good. I mean, it tastes like all the Mexican-y flavors that you can imagine. He said you just take some tortilla and dip it in there, and you just eat it like that. Before I go ham with the actual cow, I'm gonna ease it in. I'm not trying to be too brave, you know? Here's the actual stomach part. I think I'm gonna leave that alone for now. The broth, all day long. The broth is super, super good. The stomach has a little character to it. And when you get the smell of the stomach, it smells and it kind of tastes a little bit like a stomach. There's a very, like, in the most respectful way, there is a little bit of a poop smell. Yeah, it's a little loud. That's the best way to put it. And I was kind of worried about that. So that's why I got a bunch of other things to try. Perfect time for a palate cleanser. This is called Freshwater Jamaica. It's a super pretty purple color. Ooh. So this is a fruit water juice type drink made from hibiscus flowers. Delicious. It's just as good as the color is pretty. Really tart. It's kind of reminding me of like a cherry or maybe like a cranberry juice. We have a torta with birria meat. Let's get this baby out so she can shine in her full glory. This thing is huge and it was only 12 bucks. You could definitely split this with someone. So this comes with lettuce, tomato, sour cream, cheese, avocado. It looks like a layer of beans. And then I chose birria meat. Birria. She thick. Delicious. And I got a side of the birria consomme to try. I figured that would be a nice little dip in action. Oh yes. Delicious. The bread is super fluffy and soft. And it looks like they got a little char on the underneath of the bread before they assembled it. This type of sandwich does feel very soft on soft, but honestly, I feel like that's how it's supposed to be because you do have the avocado, you have the beans. I feel like you need to embrace that that's how it's supposed to be. Messy, totally worth it. Honestly, I would get extra cheese next time. It kind of reminds me of like Chipotle bowl inside of bread. Let's do a quick little cleanup. It's time to make a new tray. This one is just... Okay, right, what's next? A tamale. I love a homemade tamale. I got pork. Auntie gave me a bunch of salsas. It's a little room temp now, so it's not as like pliable. Looks like a Hot Pocket that way. This looks like cheese dip, but I don't even think I ordered that, so maybe he just kind of threw that in. Classic cheese dip, can't go wrong. This tamale is pretty solid. There's a nice mixture of masa to meat ratio, because sometimes you have a thick layer of masa and like hardly any meat. And lastly, we have this beautiful fruit cup. Isn't that the cutest little idea? This is the 16 ounce. You can also get like a 32 ounce, I think. I'm picky about tahini. To me, sometimes I don't like tahini on fruit. Ooh, what kind of fruit is that? Ooh, what is that? It just said fruit cup, but it didn't say what kind of fruit. And that is something that I've never had. That is not like any other fruit. What is that? It's not apple. Is it jicama? Wow. That's really good. It's such an interesting texture. It kind of feels like I'm chewing on a potato, but like a good crunchy potato. So I assume you just take this out and sort of suck on it. Woo! That is tart. I like this better than the tahini. I can taste the... It's so tart. I can taste the tahini on the outside of the strawberries. And I just don't love the salty, sweet combo. I don't know why, but I like this a little better. Another epic food review. So overall, everything was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. The menudo soup, that's a little particular. I mean, especially if it's one of those things that like you didn't grow up eating that. It's a very unique flavor. But the broth itself, delicious. It was fun to try, something unique and different to try. And I've learned that honeycomb tripe is not for me.